With 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, two fans in Philadelphia were ejected after what Carmelo Anthony called, quote, unacceptable harassment. Melo said one of the fans referred to him as, quote, boy. And when talking about the ejection, he said, when you cross certain lines, that's what you're going to get. So, Shannon, I start with you. What is your reaction to this? Good
for Melo calling it out. Skip, everybody knows. White person cannot call a black man a boy. Period. And here's the thing, Skip. You know the words to get a reaction regardless of the race of person that you're talking to. You know the trigger word if you want to say something to a Jewish person, or if you want to say something to an Asian person or a Hispanic person. You know the catch word. You know it. And then to say, man, athletes should have thicker skin than that. You making millions. No. That's not the point. You buy a ticket to sit down. You want to cheer. If you want to say, Melo, you washed up. Melo, you suck. Melo, you terrible. I don't even know why you're still in the NBA. You can't play. You're only there because of LeBron when you're LeBron's free. Say all of that. But when you step over the lines and you get into that area of racism, that's where I got to draw the line. That's where I got to check you. Yep. And I think I think Melo handled it very well. Go to the official, tell him to get his butt up out of there. And the Sixers, if they got any courage, and whomever runs the building, he's banned from that building. You can't see a tractor show. You can't see a dog show. You are not allowed to come back into Wells Fargo, period. I mean, when does it stop, Skip? I was just reading the story the other day about in the hockey, the EHL.
Yeah.
The black guy, and he makes P.K. Subban's brother. I think his name is Jordan Subban.
Yep.
He make the monkey gesture, and then talk about I didn't know what that meant. Really, Skip? You know if you call a black person a boy, you know if you call him a monkey, ape, or gorilla, you know what that means. And to sit there and for people to think, well, that's okay. You're an athlete, you should be no. It's just like if I go into a restaurant just because I'm playing for a service, I couldn't be able to scream profanities at the worker or throw things at the workers. When did that become okay? But see, that just goes to show you how they still see you. That's how they view you. You can never, if you black in America, you can never get high enough that they see you outside of that. Because you still that, Skip. You black, I got 100 billion. You got 100 billion, but you still, you know. I own 50,000 businesses, but you know. What I will do, I will say a word to you to make you relive 400 years of what has transpired. I'm glad Melo did it. I'm glad the officials came, security escorted his butt up out of there.
Yeah.
And anybody that thinks this is okay, because Melo is a professional athlete, because he's paid an absorbent amount of money, that this is okay, you're totally wrong. But he should be banned from the building, and I'm glad Melo handled it. And I'm glad Melo told what he said. Because now I want to hear people say, well, no, you cannot call that, Skip. Women call each other certain words that a man can't say. I'm cool with it. I've heard gay people call each other certain words. I'm cool with it. How you talk to your subculture, I'm good with that.
Yep.
But don't you step over the line and think you okay because you're not in that culture.
Yep. Thank you for all that you just said. Now back to the man in question here, Carmelo Anthony. The reason I appreciated this the most was Carmelo Anthony has been doing this for a long time at the highest level.
Yes.
And he's done it in New York, and now he's doing it in L.A., and obviously done it in Denver. He's been around this block many times, and I've been around Carmelo enough to tell you that his anger management mechanism is high, where he's a tough man, but he's also, he can tolerate a good deal.
Right.
So what he said afterwards, I loved, because he said, I'm cool with fans heckling, and I think with Carmelo, you can push it right to the edge. He said, I'm cool with fans talking trash. You can talk all kinds of trash to him. There's just one line you cannot cross.
Keep it in between the lines.
He said, I'm cool. You can cheer for your team. You can boo the other team. I'm cool with that. But when you cross certain lines as a man, you're going to get what you get. So he put up with it for much of the game, because this didn't happen until 7 minutes were left in the game.
Right.
And it had gotten out of hand at that point, and they were getting routed. And the heckler was getting louder and louder and bolder and bolder.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, he crossed that line. And what originally threw me I don't know if we've been showing the video, but it looked like they escorted 2 fans out.
They did.
And one was white and one was black. And I was like, wait a second, what is that about? But they said later, I think it's just the white fan who got ejected, because the officials said at the arena that only one fan got ejected.
Right.
So
I guess the black guy came with him.
I don't know if he came with him, but
he was leaving behind him.
He was leaving behind him. I'm not sure exactly what was going on, but that fan, the white fan, is the one who got ejected.
And the black guy got a Knicks jersey on. I think that's a Knicks jersey.
Yeah. Like a Carmelo jersey?
Oh, it's Iverson jersey. It's Iverson.
It's
That's
Iverson.
them right there.
Iverson. Yeah,
that's them right there.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, him. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Carmelo continued to go back and forth with somebody who was left up in the stands after these 2 left.
Right.
Okay?
No, that was on the baseline, Skip. You talking about the one he was arguing with in Joel?
No, it ensued after this. He kept going back and forth with somebody else.
Okay.
I don't know if it's somebody trying to defend the white guy. I have no idea.
Right.
But I am so with you that Melo handled it correctly. He didn't go, Ron Artest. He didn't go after him.
Right.
But you have to go take your stand.
Right.
And then hope that the ushers do their duty.
Right.
And by the way, this arena passed a law before this season started, and Wells Fargo Center announced a zero-tolerance policy for, quote, racial or identity-based language.
Okay.
Well, that qualifies.
That qualifies.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you are gone,
right.
and I don't know if it means permanent ban, but I think that's what we're indicating.
Yeah, you should.
Right?
You should, yeah.
Okay, so now let me flash back quickly to the most uncomfortable moment of my career occurred, and it was a long time ago, but I'm going to tell you a quick story because it involves your sport. It was my Dallas Cowboys in Thousand Oaks at training camp. Mm-hmm. And it was one Gene Stallings, who went on to greatness as the head coach at Alabama.
Yeah.
But he was unenlightened at this point, had coached at Texas A&M. And a rookie, undrafted free agent from Grambling named Everson Walls made a mistake during a camp practice back in the day when they brought 100 free agents.
They did.
So, as you know, you went through some of this because they had a bunch when you were.
Well, I was the first year they capped this, Skip. You could only bring 80. Up until that point,
80.
You could bring 100,
But
120.
80.
Yeah.
So, how do you distinguish yourself?
Right.
And unfortunately for Everson, who became a great player, he undistinguished himself by making a mistake. So Gene loved what he'd seen so far from that undrafted kid. He loved his ball instincts, but he went after him in front. We're on the sideline.
Right.
I'm standing watching this, and there are like 50 media representatives. Right. And Gene used that boy, you don't do that at this level. Boy, and he used boy like 5 times. Gene subsequently apologized for it and said, I just didn't get it. Mm-hmm. And I cannot tell you the discomfort I felt watching that, because I get goosebumps talking about it, because it's a word you do not apply. I don't care in anger. I don't care if you're he was the defensive backs coach at that point.
Right.
I don't care what it is.
No.
Shannon Sharpe would not have accepted that. And Everson, just being the undrafted rookie from and grew up in Dallas, Texas, he swallowed it, but it was difficult, and he's talked about how difficult it was. Yeah. But to Gene's credit, he was then enlightened and profuse apologies, and went on again to greatness. They won a national championship at Alabama.
But you have to understand, Skip, in the South, that was very common. Now, I don't know how, like I said, I've spent lion's share of my career as a kid, growing up as a young man in the South.
You did.
And that's how they referred to young black.
But that's plantation mentality.
Yes, that's how they did it. Yeah. That's what they call you. And Ozzie, I pick up the phone right now. I call Ozzie Newsome. Yeah. First thing you're gonna say, boy, what you doing?
Yeah. Okay, but that's
it. I got it. Every time. Never fails. I don't think he's been doing it for 20 years since I signed with the Ravens. Same thing. That's what I expect. I'm cool. But you think if I would have picked up the phone and called Mike, or if I pick up the phone and call another one of my coaches or somebody, and you could be the hell now. And he thought that was okay. Skip, you see, the thing is, if I really want to make you upset, I got to go to the lowest common denominator. And that's what people do when you get into an argument, Skip. Mm-hmm. I'm really trying to get you. Yeah. I'm going to go to the lowest thing. What can I say? And you see that a lot of times, sometimes when men argue with women, what do? They go to the lowest common denominator. You start calling people garden utensils, and you call them a this, and you call them a that, because I know I'm gonna get a response, the response that I want. He wanted that response that he got. He thought he would probably had a little alcohol in him, but see, Skip, that's the sober mouth.
Yeah. I hear you.
That's what spoke. See, alcohol will give you confidence to say things. You thought about it sober.
Yeah.
But then the alcohol will give you the confidence to go ahead and say it.
Yeah. So just to sum this up, there's obviously one other word that's, to me, 100 times worse that starts with N.
Oh, yeah.
But this one also crosses the line.
Absolutely.
So good for Carmelo.
Yeah.
Good for the way they handled it. It was done quickly and I thought pretty cleanly.
I love the fact, but Melo said, this is what he said. There is no guesswork. When I wonder what he said, Melo never explained.
You're right.
There's no guess. There's no, we guess or we think. This is what he said.
Yeah.
And he crossed the line, and this is why we had him removed. Kudos to the officials. Kudos to security. Now, hopefully, the policy has teeth, and his butt's not allowed to come back into Wells Fargo to see anything.
There's no room for this.
Thank you.
Absolutely no room for this. And hey, boy, I hope everyone takes note. Guys, has Joe Burrow already reached Patrick Mahomes' level? We discussed.
Really?
I'm curious who wanted to talk about this next.